Watch yourself around the Lotus assassins. There's something unnatural about them. Watch yourself around the... I hope my daughter will grow to be as beautiful as... I've seen some strange things in this city, but it's still the only place I'd want to live.
My uncle saw a ghost while traveling in the south. I don't think I'll be traveling that way anytime soon.
Excuse me, out of my way. I've got to get these buns to the Scholars Garden. Quick, quick, now move.
I'm very sorry. Please accept my heartfelt apologies. My husband has the manners of a strutting clock sometimes.
I seem to recall you rather enjoyed my, strutting at one time, old woman.
Shush now. You'll offend the gods of decency. This poor traveler's likely to think that the Imperial City is full of indecent folk and offensive talk. Now then, after all the trouble we've caused you, is there anything we can help you with? We've got fresh buns. Just made them myself.
Talk. That's all people want to do. I don't get paid to talk. I sell buns. That's what I do.
Ha! No time to talk, he says. The only time you're ever quiet is when you're eating one of my buns. Now be polite and answer some questions.
We're members of the local traveling circus. I'm a fire eater and Lena is a juggler. We just sell buns on the side to make a little extra silver.
Junda, could you try to be civil just this once? This buffoon of a man is Junda, and I am Lena, his wife, as he is fond of reminding me. We sell buns here in the city. Well, I bake, and he sells. There is much to tell about the city, but we do need to sell the buns while they're fresh. Perhaps you could be more specific?
Yes, more questions. Are you sure I couldn't interest you in a bun? They're nice and fresh, or at least they were when we started talking. Death's Hand. Now there's a name you don't hear often. I'm just a simple bun seller, but even I know enough to be careful who I utter that name around.
For once we agree, husband. Death's Hand is a walking nightmare. It is said that if you see him coming, then it's already too late. But enough of wives' tales. Just be careful who you mention that name to, unless you wish to draw bad attention to yourself.
If he hasn't bought a bun for me, I likely don't know him. Come to think of it, if he hasn't bought a bun for me, I don't want to know him.
Junda, you withered old coconut! What's your problem? There's more to life than selling these buns, you know. I'm sorry to say I haven't heard of your friend either, and I'm not sure what you mean by master. Try the Scholars Garden. The people there might know your friend.
Go then. I have buns to sell, and it doesn't look like you're buying.
Don't mind him. He just takes a while to get used to. Much like an ache in the bones if it lasts long enough. Eventually, you learn to ignore it. Good day to you.
Lost, citizen? What district are you looking for? To reach the necropolis, you need to go to the Golden Way first. Once there, you can ask another guard, if you're still lost. To reach the Golden Way, go into the pavilion on the north side of the garden and make your way through the rooms of illumination. When you reach the large wooden pavilion, exit its west side and proceed down the hill to the south. The garden is just off the Golden Way, so you need to head there first. One of the guards in there can take you the rest of the way if you need. The Golden Way is through a gate in the southeast corner of this district, just up a broad flight of steps that lead up from a courtyard. A pleasure. Anything else? This area is known as the Market District. Predictably, plenty of merchants set up their shops around here, and it's usually bustling. On the north side of the district is the Imperial Arena. The heart of the Empire Tavern in the upper level is a nice place to relax. What else? Oh, yes. There's the Black Leopard School up on the hill on the south side. Lots of skilled warriors get their start there. Be about your business and stay out of trouble. Pleasure to be of service.
Welcome, welcome! Did someone from the Black Leopard School send you? No, I suppose you don't quite look like one of their students. Well, no matter. If you're looking for weapons, I have quite a good selection and reasonable rates. Would you like to see what I have for sale? Here you go. There's quite a lot, so take your time. Hello again. What can I do for you today? Not much to tell, really. I've been working with the school for almost 20 years, like my father did before me. When they asked me to work for the school exclusively, I accepted. I'd rather have a steady life making weapons by the bunch than doing special orders all the time. And every once in a while, I get to make something unique. The masters have some amazing scrolls describing weapons I never even knew existed. Well, it's the best of its kind in all the Empire, or at least that's what I'm told. Of course, it's seen better days. Having two masters has really hurt the school, if you ask me. Seems the students spend more time bickering than fighting. but what do I know? If it was me, I'd just kick one of the masters out on his ear. I'd like to tell you which one, too, but I'd better not. Best not to get involved. Suit yourself. I have a lot of work to do. Good day.
I haven't seen any ghosts wandering in the city, and I hope I never do.
I love shopping in the city. They have everything here. The Imperial City is beautiful, but you still have to be careful in certain areas.
Ak wiwu ofir, san kasawir wo sir tana.
Emperor Sun Hai is a great man. Without him, the Empire would still be living in a drought.
The Scourge associates with nefarious fox spirits, aiding them in their occupation of our once pristine forests in the south. A group of river-faring businessmen have been attacked and forced to flee. Nobody is safe from this criminal. His own master died at his hands, and he had fellow students kidnapped and tortured just because they didn't agree with him.
I am not comfortable here. So many people without a clue of the danger that may be coming.
The Jade Empire would be in ruins if it wasn't for Emperor Sun Hai.
Wo kawuso noka wo taraway shaxi finu pifu.
Lost, citizen? Be about your business.
Watch yourself around the...
My uncle saw a ghost. Those Lotus assassins make me nervous. They just look so unnatural.
The princess is very beautiful. If I was like her, then all the girls would like me.
I haven't seen any ghosts wander.
That's why my men brought you to me. I wanted to finish this personally.
But I...
Don't even try to make this better. You should have won that fight, Zhang, but you suddenly developed that blind spot, didn't you? Did the glint of silver get in your eye?
Joe, honestly, I...
You needed something for Twitnit one?
Yes, I need to speak with you in private. It seems Warrior Zhang has decided to retire.
I'm finished here. If you're here to fight, do what they tell you. You couldn't see for yourself? I was just retired from the Imperial Arena. Guess my spot in the roster is yours if you want it. Go find Kui the promoter if you think you can fill my shoes. He's always upstairs in the third room over or so, and looking for new blood. I'm taking what I have left from my winnings and leaving.
The palace is completely cut off from us common folks. The palace is...
Welcome! It's always good to see a new face at the counter. If you've got silver to spend, I'll be happy to help you out. I'm known as Thunderous Tauren, and you are my most honored customer right now, so you have all of my attention. The man to see is named Qui the Promoter. He knows everything there is to know about this place. Might even be looking for a new body to fill out the roster. This could be your chance. If you're interested, he's usually up in his office, up and around to the back. You look like a warrior to my eye, probably not fit for the odds and sods the usual patrons might pick up. Stop by again. The miniature Ravager hoods for the kids are coming in any day now. You know you'll want two.
I'm grabbing a drink as soon as I get off shift.
How dare you interrupt me? If you must know, I, Lustful Lao, conqueror of the female kingdom, was emanating my yang. It is but one of my many irresistible charms. You don't see my brimming knowledge of the 232 points of pleasure as documented by Menshi Zhao, the salacious scholar? Or that I perform the stretches outlined in the writings of the now disbanded lascivious order of the abbotless monks every morning? If even these simple things are beyond your ken, sir, then Lustful Lao has no time to spare on you.
Either grab a table or ask the tavern keeper directly if you want to order.
Ukir okir wo napyair ukir sotiwi. Po wo the soso ya Ukair otonoir nisun puno asir tsunkut. Sisairi furkt was sair napsan. Gir uksairnan. Wo nawair. Po wo the soso ya Ukair otonoir nisun puno asi nano wo nawaftata sini here uk uno. Ukir okir wo napyair ukir sotiwi. Wo ipsoko anir sunsiir of you know. Sair an nikufunir aknat nir sauir pika. Payir fun tiki.
The fights in this arena are the best in the Empire.
Have you heard those ridiculous rumors about ghosts walking the Empire? Have you...
Leave me alone.
Daoshin's game is the best in the city.
I was wondering if you'd wander over here to test your luck. It's hard to resist the rattling call of the dice, isn't it? Gambler Daoshin's the name. I run the straightest dice in the Imperial City. I wouldn't want to feed my children with tarnished silver, would I? Good odds and fair play. That's how I keep them coming back. A simple enough game called high-low. You predict how you'll roll against my toss and double your coin if you're right. You'll catch on easily enough, I'm sure. The rules are easier than the lonely daughter of an outskirts farmer, my friend. You make a simple prediction of high or low. Then we roll. I throw first and you throw second. If you wagered high and roll above me, you double your wager. If you wagered low and roll below me, you also win. If we roll the same, the house takes all. High-low is easy to learn and people like it. Why change? I can take bets of 1 and 5 silver. Nothing extravagant, I know, but Gambler Daoshin plays by the rules. The kind of rules you ignore only if you're tired of using your arms. I could probably find a way around them if I knew someone who could go into the back room past Kui's office. I think they only let arena folk go back there, fighters in some of the higher divisions. You take care of yourself and come back soon to the best game in the city.
All the rich folk don't know the fun they're missing.
Go find someone else to bother.
Get out of my kitchen.
I love the challenge of special orders.
The Emperor used to attend these matches, but he stopped coming years ago.
These new sandals are uncomfortable after a few hours.
Sorry, big boy. I'm not open for business. Judge Fang's got me on his payroll, and he doesn't like me taking customers on the side. Unless you're into something twisted, then he might want to watch. Fang's always looking for some new perversion to make his little soldier stand at attention. Judge Fang's the head of the Ministry of Harmony. He's sitting in the next room with his guards, likes to come and watch the arena fights. The blood and the beatings in the ring get his fever burning for later. Sometimes that bastard takes it out on me. Other times he makes me take it out on him. He doesn't seem to care either way. There are few things more twisted than Judge Fang's idea of a fun night. I've thought about quitting. Every night. But I heard what happened to the last girl who tried to leave Fang. He's not the kind of man you just walk away from. He sees me as a possession. His possession. He's not just going to let me go. He's got the wealth and power to find me wherever I run. I'm stuck with Judge Fang until he's tired of me. I've come to accept that. It's a hard, grim fact, but at least he pays well. Fang's head of the Ministry of Harmony, so he controls taxes and executions across the Empire. That makes him a very rich and powerful man. Even the Lotus Assassins are wary of Judge Fang, probably because they know he's just as vile and corrupt as they are. All the rumors about him are true. He's the most infamous degenerate in the Imperial City. And I work for him. I hate him. He's a vile, repulsive deviant. He likes to hurt. When things are bad, a man like that leaves scars, emotional and physical. Look, I've been around. I know people do strange and disturbing things behind locked doors. But nothing like this. There's no act too brutal or shameful for Judge Fang. He's into all sorts of things, and he's no stranger to pain. I know that all too well. Go ahead. It's not like I'm going to tell you anything that isn't common knowledge. My name is Gentle Breezes, but everyone just calls me Breezes now. I guess you lose your gentle side when you spend too many nights with Judge Fang. Fang's my benefactor, if you know what I mean. I do all the things that make him happy. Filthy, nasty things. But at least that sick bastard pays well. Good. Let me rest. I've got a feeling I'm in for a long night tonight.
Don't you just love the Imperial Arena? No other place like it in all of the Jade Empire. Were you looking for me? I'm Lady Rento, and I was expecting someone sent by Captain Sen. Oh, poor Yukong. Captain Sen's still willing to do my husband's bidding and hunt him down, is he? I swear, my husband is insufferable. Yukong's a harmless aspiring actor who asked me if I would act as his patron. Since my husband was away from the city, again, I accepted and gave Yukong a moderate stipend. I thought he was charming. Probably less than my husband is putting forth as a bounty for poor Yukong. That young man doesn't deserve this. That was how my husband presented the situation to the authorities. He didn't want to face the shame of supporting a humble actor. My husband's a fool, but when he lowers his head, all I can do is let him charge and hope he rams something solid enough to slow him. I would wager that you'll find him in the Scholars' Garden. Yukong was going to try out for that new play. It's going to be put on soon in the Golden Way, I'm told. Should be exciting to watch. Yukong was going to try out for a role as a scholar, so he may be using his costume to hide in the garden. He's not much of a scholar, so you should be able to spot him. If If you happen to find creative Yukong, do go easy on him, would you? The poor boy did nothing wrong, and my husband is being unusually cruel to him. Good luck with your search. I have to get back to the estate, so much to do.
You wouldn't have any hot tips for me, would you? No? No one ever does.
Whoa, back up a bit there. Judge Fang doesn't like people blocking his view of the arena. Yeah, you might make him miss out on seeing someone get their nose broken, or their leg, or even their skull. He was just saying that there hasn't been a good skull fracture for at least a week. It's put him in a foul mood. I wouldn't call him sick and twisted. That's an insult to sick and twisted people everywhere. Fang's on a whole other level. I never used to believe the stories, but now that I'm working for him, I can honestly say he's the most degenerate and perverted man in the whole empire. But he pays well, very well. Enough so that we pretend not to see what's going on, though I still feel bad for Breezes sometimes. Gentle Breezes, she's Fang's, concubine. She's over in the next room with the common folk. Fang doesn't like to be seen with her in public. He doesn't mind her getting up close and personal when they're in private, though. The things she does for him. Not without an appointment, and his schedule's full for the next month. All the ministers are coming in from the outlying towns to make their reports. If he's not meeting with a minister, he's relaxing here, hoping to see somebody beaten to a quivering pulp in the ring, or maybe torn apart by one of the animals. Yeah, that or he's taking a break with Breezes. Poor girl. No amount of silver is worth what she does for him. Forget it. I won't go into details about what Fang did to the last guard he caught taking bribes, but restraints, starving dogs, and gravy on certain parts of the body were involved. Fang watched the whole thing, laughing all the while, and when it was done, he went upstairs with Breezes for a little relaxation. Poor girl. Good idea. Come back next month. Fang might be taking appointments by then. Look, we already told you, Fang doesn't want to be bothered. He just wants to relax and watch the arena fights. Yeah, if he doesn't get his daily fill of blood, violence, and gore, he'll be snarly all day. And he's hard enough to work for when he's in a good mood. Good idea.
Wuwuwir wakwakir fonir sisa ukopkipo kusu ukut. Kwanak apiyir, kwanaruk tatisir si usta. The kawa ir ap ofir wuwuwir wak fonu unka. Yawar ir wuswair susu no. Utarawi ir. Kupkitir sanir naur kurk wu pan. Kop awuka inir u afawafi ithaturo turo uk. The kawa ir ap u ofir wowowir wak fonu unka. Utarawi ir, kupkitir sanir naur kurk wu pan. Wuyo ir, naur ir kunurk nuka uk, kin piir ukir ifu ir wu. Narari. Kop awuka inir u afawafi ithaturo turo uk. Nara ir uk napir sonkut, usatir tatasiir uyu. Yawar ir, wo swair susu no. Pir koinir riki no. Uyoir, nawarir kunurk nuka uk, kin piir ukir ifuir wo. Kop awuka inir, o afawafi it.
Another pathetic gawker here to bask in the glory that is Iron Soldier, the Silver Division champion? What in all the Empire do you want? Oh, really? You find me disagreeable? You should try standing downwind of yourself, peasant. And please, don't bother firing yourself up to challenge me out of some fool notion of pride. Things aren't done that way here. The guards stop all fighting unless it happens in the pit, or they want it to happen.
Iron Soldier's fame comes as much from his foul temper and ego as it does from his skill. The people love to despise him.
Just leave me alone. I don't talk to spectators.
Hello there. I'm Han, though fans and, well, everyone else call me Hapless Han. It's not such a bad thing. Fighting in the lower divisions means I never run afoul of the Ravager. Our current champion has nearly killed his last two opponents. See, I look on the bright side of things. Even if my losses make people call me hapless, are numbers really that important? In my mind, it's trying your best that counts. You know, looking at you, I'd say you could hold your own in the arena. Are you thinking of signing up, or was there something else you need? You need to talk to Kui, the promoter. He'll start you out. It'll be great to have someone new around the place. You're new to this arena, aren't you? I'm happy to help you out. Do you want to know how to sign up, or are you just curious about the events? Every warrior here starts out in the qualifying round, where they face a lot of the hopefuls. If you're doing well, you'll end up facing me. After that, there are the bronze, silver, and gold divisions, each of which has its own champion and unique trials. I'm sure Kui the promoter can outline those for you. Sounds good. I'm sure you can find your way around, but I've been here all my life. I can tell you about the scholars, the common folk, and even a bit about the Emperor himself. Emperor Sun is a savior to the Empire. He created a never-ending supply of water for us. It's just too bad his daughter isn't a bit more respectful of tradition. Then again, her father has changed the way things are done, so I suppose that's to be expected. He sealed himself away in the palace. When in the time of the drought, he was a leader and an inspiration. It's a shame that he's become so private. At his last appearance, he seemed so full of life. It was like he hadn't aged a day in 20 years. Perhaps trying to curtail his daughter keeps him young. Princess Leon is a willful child, they say. Don't take that to mean I know her personally, but everyone says she's willful. To be fair, that could be good in a ruler. Still, you have to respect tradition. I'm not exactly sure what she's done that's so bad, but I know it set the nobles aflame with gossip. Right you are.
Fascinating. How very interesting to meet you. Fate may have robbed me of my sight at a young age, but I can still sense the energy within your meridians. Impressive, and yet somewhat strange. I don't know what it is about you exactly, but I would say you have been trained like no other warrior in this place. What I do know is that several of the techniques pioneered by what we call the new schools would have astonishing effects on one with your energy. Allow me a formal introduction. I am Dr. An, acupuncturist. I do not recognize your voice, but within it I can hear the energy of one trained for combat. Perhaps you should talk to Kui the promoter. He often seeks new warriors to do battle in these ancient halls. Acupuncture is the process of healing the body through the release of its own energies. There are other applications, such as an understanding of the pressure points of the body as well. I release these healing energies through the very precise insertion of needles into the skin. It truly is an art. Acupuncture is also most ancient science, studied as long as the empire has stood. Those studies benefit the warriors in this place most directly. How can you fight in the dark? We learn these things through study and discipline. The nerves of the hand are incredibly sensitive. The eyes can be fooled by something as insubstantial as light. I would not say that losing my sight at a young age was a gift, but I have not let it become a burden either. My techniques for releasing your untapped inner energies are newer and slightly more radical, but even they benefit from a century of research and years of practice. Put simply, your body possesses incredible energies, some of which can fall out of balance, putting the body at risk of disease. Acupuncture releases blockages in your body's meridians, natural pathways for this energy, allowing your body to restore its balance. The new schools have found ways to optimize the body's energy pathways to make you stronger than you would be normally. You would have to practically abandon your pursuit of martial prowess to understand them more fully, but you have other skills to hone. My needles, used properly, can enhance your strength, restore your inner vitality, and unlock energies you barely knew your body held. The only thing I have found I am unable to affect with my needles is your inner magic. It seems even acupuncture has its limits. Of course, have a look. While I cannot see you, your appearances are hard to ignore. Welcome again. Are you here for a treatment or simple socializing? Of course, have a look. While I cannot... Are you... Of course...
intolerable. One more mistake, Kui, and I'll have you retired. Finding someone else is your problem.
But...
Enough! Find a solution and leave me alone.
This is not an appropriate time to... Wait a moment. You have the look of a fighter about you. Those hands, that stance, even your eyes. I'd know that look anywhere. You must be here to join the most glorious contest in the Empire. Isn't it fortunate that Lucky Cho and I were just discussing how this place needs an M-fusion of new blood?
The Lotus assassins watch this place like vultures circling a sick buffalo. They recruit new talent from among the best fighters. If you join this place, you'll want to avoid attracting their attention.
Come with me a moment and we'll engage-itate in some dissertation about the best decision you'll ever make. This is turning out to be an excellent day, most ostentatious indeed. I apologize if I'm using words beyond your grasp. Very few people can match either the supply or the command of my language. Strong build, good shoulders, not half bad looking either. You've got what it takes to make it in today's arena. The question is, can you fight? Are you worthy of the arena? I say the answer is a clarion and resounding yes. I've heard that you were asking around and talking to some of our best and brightest. Your interest tells me all that I need to know about you. What say we get you signed up for the greatest attraction in all the Empire? The arena awaits. Here you fight for silver. Glory is yours for the taking if you value it. The rewards start small, but in the gold division, you could easily retire on your winnings. In fact, our last champion, Raging Ox, did just that. Suddenly up and left to enjoy his winnings, clearing the way for the Ravager to take his place. You'll start low and advance on my say-so, but I can already tell you're going to expel in this place. You'll not languish in the qualifiers for long. You will face the flashing blade of Crimson Kana, the stern resolve of Iron Soldier, and the, troublesome triumvirate of the Sung Brothers. If you defeat these veterans, you will face the Ravager, our newest champion, who tore his way through the divisions to replace the now-retired Raging Ox. Go ask them yourselves if you want to know more. Hapless Hans faced more than a few of them, too, if you want his perspications. Do you have any idea how much paperwork I have to do when a contestant of the Empire's finest tournament dies? Wards and spells have protected fighters in this place since its construction. It's been easily 20 years since they failed. It was a dark day. My predecessor lost several good men when the spells failed during an event he'd ironically dubbed the Feast of the Ogres. I'm no sorcerer, but I suppose it could happen. Still, any magically inclined person would notice something like that. Even if someone removed them, the protections would reweave themselves automatically in time. They've done so before. Truly, this is a loss for all involved. The offer stands as surely as the wall itself when your senses restore to their proper balance.
Sa awir nis tu kuiruk. Ayer fun. Soir irwu nisir tintina yewir. Wo ifuir uk sunurk danowe na wafta tasieruk. On we pifir. Oxair caritas fonir sisair ir furk tatasir, ir caranos sacupono. Wo panaro wosawir tatasi ni wasunir prawon, wosawir coconutoi. Tir nik puntuir, poir nokauk, sair takitir noni. Oxier watoafu ni froto usosawir, uktatasir ni ryoki. Quan Ukwiro ni sayir tatasir yu, wo nawir sir fu ni winyanakan. Wo sawir noka ukrapro ni apawafa son sir tu wirwo. Wo yo wir Shakespeare, woso.
You go away. Sungbu very busy thinking right now.
I'm sorry. You would speak with the Sung brothers? We have no time for simple gawkers. Why not bother someone like hapless Han? He's always willing to waste time with the spectators.
Cast the stones, brother. The 6 triangles of portent indicated that new competition would advance our goals.
Did they really? Surprising. Well then, it seems my brother and the Fates would encourage you to participate in the arena. You should speak with Kui the promoter. Until you prove yourself, leave us be.
If you wish to speak to one of us, Bo will be the most amenable.
As sure as a dog will scratch where the flea bites, I knew you would return. Fighting's in your blood, and you'll itch until you test yourself in this grand contest. Testing yourself against the finest in the Empire. What else could a young man dream of? What say we get you signed up for the greatest attraction in all the Empire? The arena awaits. That's the spirit of the thing. Now, what name precedes you in your travels? Right, a fine name indeed. But it won't sell, not at all. We need something more memorable for the crowds. Think of something that would sound engaging, ringing down from the rafters. That's how we'll bill you. Silver Phoenix. Silver Phoenix. Conjures up quite an image. Are you certain? Take your time. Raging Dragon, huh? Sounds fast and powerful. I like it. Are you positive that's what you want? Then that is what you shall have. Come and tell me when you're ready for a fight, and I'll get you started. Since you're new, you'll start in the qualifying rounds. The money's small at that level, but it's there. Any other questions? One other thing. You should talk to the other fighters now and then. They will be watching you, and you should get to know them as well.
We're all one big happy family.
You're a big, happy idiot, Han.
As you can see, they always have something to say. For your first match, we'll start you off against a mighty ogre. I'll be watching your style closely to see how you fare. Impress me, and I'll take you to the top. Even our great champions start out against the ogre. Take Raging Ox, who danced around the beast singing drunkenly to earn the crowd's favor, or the Ravager, who defeated him in a single blow. I should take a moment and explain the system we use here. I like to keep things simple and organized. Any other way, and things get more convoluted than the celestial court on the Emperor's birthday. When you're ready for your match, ask me about it, and I'll give you a quick summary of your opponent. I'll be setting up your matches, of course. Various enchantments woven in this place keep the fights from being deadly, but they're no less real. You'll feel the pain if you don't keep your defense up. Are you ready to get started? Excellent. Follow me and we'll get you ready for your next match.
A new warrior does battle with the Beast.
That was an impressive beginning. Normally I'd have started you off against something easier, but you practically ooze potential. You've caught the eyes of the other fighters as well. Go ask them if you don't believe me.
That really was a fantastic bout.
Beating the ogre's nothing special. I could have done better bound and blinded.
Sometimes you don't even need to ask. One fight does not make a champion, though. There are many more opponents ahead of you. Let's move on, shall we? Since you held your own against the ogre brute last time, I'm going to try something exciting for the crowd. I've got 4 boys from some school west of the city who've been bothering me for some tougher matches. I'm giving you all of them at once. It'll wow the crowd and teach them a lesson at the same time. Remember to watch your sides and back. Are you ready to get started? If that's the decision you want to make, it's your profanation. You just let me know when you've changed your mind. Be sure to return when you're ready to continue your climb through the qualifying round. I want to hear that you're ready. What?
Tir nik puntuir, poir nokauk, soir takitir noni. Woyo wir Shakespeare.
You look a shade better than the usual cowardly dogs we get through here. Just a shade, though. So you've earned the right to talk to me. Lucky you. Iron Soldier's the name, though everyone just calls me Soldier. You may as well do the same. If I waste time talking to you, it's because I can respect that you're prepared to lose terribly in the arena. Given half the chance, yes. If you can't handle it, you don't need to talk to me. There are some people who call the way I operate walking the low path, but they're fools. Talking about the low path is an attempt to deride the philosophy of those of us who see the truth. There's no real altruists in this world, just people who explain their actions with reasons that are easily palatable to the masses. I refuse to kowtow to those kind of lies. I'm a warrior, People either challenge me and grow stronger, or run away like weaklings. Good. Go bother someone else.
Wuwuwir aki thita. Nararir. Kop awuk.
I watched your last match. You're just getting started, but you're on the right track. I bet you'll be facing me someday soon. Right you are.
I shouldn't talk too much. Talk to Brother Bo instead.
The brothers Sung greet our fellow combatant warmly. I am Sung Bo, this is my little brother Boo, and my older brother Sui.
Do not bother me. Introductions merely clutter the mind.
I don't think they was bothering you, Sui. It's Bo being talked to.
Do not worry too much about us, though. There are many fights between you and the Sung brothers, but we shall humor your questions. You'll only deal with the lower ranks at this point. Bother us about fighters when you advance to a respectable level.
We don't know nothing about...
Please excuse Brother Boo. He occasionally feels the need to speak on things to which he has not given his full attention.
We should not discuss the city, brother, while we are within its bounds.
Do the stars show the dragons in ascension again? Then we should not speak of the city for now. The very topic is risky. Please accept our apologies. I'm certain one of the others would be happy to tell you about the city. Oh yes, we shall see you around. Of that you can be sure.
I want to hear that you're ready for your next fight. What? Since you held your own against the ogre brute last time, I've got 4 boys from... It'll wow the crowd and... Are you... Excellent. Follow me.
Four students test their skills against one master.
Those boys won't be back anytime soon. Losing as a group to one opponent would shame a peasant, let alone a student of the martial arts. The crowd's starting to catch on to you. Have you noticed? People like you, and now I'm going to make sure they pay attention. I'm going to have a roughly hewn statue hauled into the ring. I want you to disconstructulate it. Destroy the statue quickly enough, and I'll give you a shot at hapless Han. Are you ready to get started? Excellent.
Unyielding stone meets the press of time.
Excellent work. You have bested time itself in destroying that statue. No mean feat, I assure you. I think you're ready to face hapless Han. Show me you're ready for the big time, and I'll make sure you don't have to dance with the children anymore. Are you ready to get started? If that's the...
Ukwiro ni sayir tatasi yeruyu, wo nawir sir fu ni winyanakan. Wo you.
Looks like you're still walking after that last match. Too bad. Surprising. Most of the time, you qualifiers hurt yourselves more than your opponents. Good.
I watched your last match. From what I hear, you and I will meet next. I'm really looking forward to it. I'll see you soon enough. I'm looking forward to our match.
Look who stands before us, brothers. A fighter poised on the cusp of entering the Bronze Division. Only hapless Han stands in the way. Oh, yeah.
I want to hear... What? I think you're ready to... X...
A chance to leave the qualifying division as Raging Dragon faces Hapless Han.
You dealt with Han very well. I knew you would. All of our professional fighters move past him eventually.
Kui, that will be enough. I bring you a message from my employer, Kai Lan the Serpent. He is impressed with how far you have come in such a short while. The Serpent wants you to know that he is watching your progress very closely. He is most interested to see how you fare in the Bronze Division. Kui, you may breathe again. That is all I had to say.
Well, that was good, I think. He has a distinct interest in the proceedings here. He is an ex-champion, you see. He retired some time ago, even before Raging Ox, who was the champion before the Ravager. Kylon couldn't leave the arena alone, though. He has become a very important man here with the help of a group called the Guild. Lucky Cho is a thug, pure and simple, but he's very good at what he does. He's also a member of the Guild and reports directly to Kylon. Kylon oversees things here in the arena, and the Guild ensures that the authorities leave us in peace. The Guild is the organization that controls all of the betting in this place. That gives them considerable sway. It is good that they are happy with your progress. Between us, the Guild is also involved in more illicit activities. They are very sensitive about remaining an open secret. Many know about them, but few acknowledge that fact. Right now is a particularly dangerous time, as one of the leaders of the Guild has recently been inhumed. Kylon sees this as an opportunity. Do not discuss them openly. The Guild has many ears. You may ask some of the others in the arena about them if you wish, but I would not bring it up to just anyone. A wise decision. Very wise. For the sake of your career, I suggest that you limit any questions you have to your fellow fighters.
Well done! That fight was much better than this wine. With all the pure water pouring from the palace, you'd think they might have learned how to make wine that didn't taste like goat piss.
Black Whirlwind, that is you. Are you back to...
No, just here visiting, and making sure nothing happens to your newest fighter.
So you won't be...
No, leave it alone, Qui. You know better than to bring this up. Just mind your business, promoter, and I'll mind mine.
You travel in curious company. Regardless, when you're ready, come talk to me again and we'll discuss your next match. I know him, yes, but I know better than to contravigate his wishes. If you want to talk about it, ask him. I'm staying out of it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I must prepare for your entry into the Bronze Division. It will take me a bit of time before you'll be ready for your next fight. You should talk to the other fighters here. They've been watching you and are getting nervous. Of course, I'll need more time than that for these preparations. It's just a matter of preparing the proper documents. Why don't you kill the time by making your way out into the city? See the sights. Maybe visit the Golden Way or the Scholar's Garden. Actually, that reminds me. A woman was here watching your fight against Hapless Han, dressed all in black and veiled. She seemed impressed with your preference. Just before she left, she told me to tell my new fighter that she was still waiting to see you. She said you'd know where. Sounds like quite the invitation.
Uktatasir ni ryoki, ka sisayir na work awukatayi. Uksiyir wa toafu ni yefroto usosawir, uktatasir ni ryoki. Kwawir uyu itarir noka sisayir na workur, wo nisir wir uk noka thakuna fifir. Wo ifuir uk sunurk danowe na wafta tasieruk. Kitir nonni nikuyo ipierta. Wo panaro wo sawir tatasi ni was sunir prawun. Wo sawir kokonatoy. Wono wiri fuwiruk was safno sisitu. Kwawir ni sisiyir sisitu kun wano sisitu nig on wipifir. Kwawir. Wo yo wir.
Wuwu wir aki thitah. Safa afso ni wakwikir fonir no ni wo yak kup. Kop awuk.
Looks like you're still walking after that. You ground the hapless one beneath your feet like everyone else does, huh? Han's pathetic for wasting time on the hopefuls, if you ask me. Then again, watching Han stumble to Dr. On every time he tries to handle the real Bronze Division fights is one of the most entertaining things about this place.
Good.
Boy, that sure was something. I wouldn't have wanted to be me out there, except that I was. But I learned so much from facing you. Next time I should try some of that fancy stuff you do. I'm not exactly sure how you did it, though. You know, that's a good idea. I tend to focus on myself more than others. Perhaps I can learn some new tricks. Thanks for the encouragement. All the contestants know about the guild. They are the real power here. But keep your voice low. We don't want Lucky Cho to hear us talking about this. I don't know about the guild itself, but around here the man in charge is named Kai Lan the Serpent. He's a powerful magician and incredibly deadly in battle. Retired Imperial champion, in fact. I never have to deal with Kai Lan. I'm not good enough to compete with the big players, so he isn't interested in me. I prefer it that way. I've heard from some of the others that they sometimes ask fighters to throw matches, or worse. It may not actually be that bad, but I always advise new fighters to be careful, just in case. It's not that open, but Lucky Cho and Kai Lan don't bother to hide their actions much. I wonder if the rest of the guild appreciates them being that open. As to why the Empire tolerates them, I know of at least one promising fighter who went off to join the Lotus Assassins not too long ago. It was like they recruited him after seeing what he could do here. Maybe there's some arrangement that makes the Lotus Assassins overlook this place. It's always nice of you to stop by and chat. A lot of people who move past me in the arena never look back.
Well, I cannot see. Hapless Han stumbled in here for yet another treatment after you defeated him. Impressive handiwork, though I find myself in a position to wish you were less skilled. Especially with Han. He is a continual strain on my time. I think you misunderstand the situation. I have no problems treating Han, but I receive no compensation for tending to injuries. I shouldn't complain, though. The arena pays me to look after you fighters, and Han's constant injuries have helped me hone my healing skills to a razor edge. Be well.
Look who stands before us, brothers. You are the unstoppable force that left poor Han a cluttered pile of optimistic wreckage at the side of the arena. I'm sure he will bounce back as fresh as ever, though. He always does. We can tell you to be careful whom you ask about such things. Secrets kept in the open are the most sensitive.
The serpent who dwells in the shadows of this place. Like an air spirit, he is everywhere and yet invisible to the eye.
Brother Sui puts it well. Kai Lan the Serpent is the guild's will in this place, powerful enough that only the brave or foolish discuss him at any length. Besides running the most expansive betting operation in the Empire, I speculate that they do much more than that, but we have been smart enough not to find out. We question things in the arena, though. For example, why are we allowed to fight as one body when the rules suggest such a thing should be illegal? The guild cares more for a good show than fair play. Good shows keep the bet money flowing, especially if a favored fighter were to suddenly and surprisingly lose.
I agree. I don't want them around anymore. They scare me.
If you let fear guide your decisions, Brother Boo, you will find that you have walked the coward's path.
Philosophy aside, the Empire certainly could wipe them out. But wouldn't another similar organization appear? Regardless, if something could be done, the Empire would have done it already. Oh yes, we shall see you around. Of that you can be sure.
Many people try to break into the Bronze Division and fail miserably. You should be proud of yourself.
You deserve it. It was an honor to face you.
Crimson Kana is the champion of this round. You'll have to face her eventually. Be ready when you do. Your next fight? I'd love to, but I'm still arranging the details of your entry into the Bronze Division. Besides, didn't you have some mysterious lady in black looking to meet you? Hardly an invitation I'd turn down.
Lost, citizen? What? The garden is just off the Golden Way, so you need to head there first. One of the A pleasure.
If you think you've seen this person, you must report it to the authorities at once. It is your duty.
I love living in the Imperial City. There's always something for me and my friends to do.
If you're going to do well in the arena, you'll need strength and luck. Lots of luck.
So you're the new fighter in town. Good luck. You'll need it.
Your grace lacks poise.
I greet you, sir. I wonder if you might have some silver to spare. I come from a very wealthy family. As such, I have a certain lifestyle to maintain. Parties, female admirers, lots of wine. You understand. I have to have an income, don't I? My father looked at my considerable expenses and told me to get my own silver. Of course, I am a noble. The shame of manual labor or the stink of trade must not be allowed to touch me, or even waft its way close to me. How could there be shame? You've got it and I want it. Should I steal it? Never. Simply ask like a civilized soul, I say. I am afraid I cannot do that. That would be trade, and I simply will not sully my beautifully soft hands with such. I will tell you for free, however. I read all the greatest philosophers and consulted with wise men before reaching this decision. I assure you the philosophical underpinnings are quite sound. Wisdom is only gained by experience, wine, women, and song, as it were. But a life of revel with no reflection still does not lead to true wisdom. One must ponder, one must daydream. Even if I could bear the shame of sullying my hands with work, when would I think? How could I grow wise?
Your personal groomer has been slacking. Your grace lacks poise.
Well, it loses some of the subtlety when you put it that way. But yes.
Little of worth to catalog.
I thank you. It's not easy for one such as I. I have it far more difficult than the impoverished beggars of this city. Farewell.
The long drop was clearly not caused by any excessive bathing on your part.
The Jade Empire would be in ruins if it wasn't for Emperor Sun Hai.
Your parentage is below average, and your ancestry is of questionable worth. You dress yourself in the manner of a common laborer. Nobody's paying any attention.
Keep trying, just as I instructed.
Your physique seems exceptional. Clearly you are a peasant. A noble could afford sloth. Your breath is like the wind of an ox. Your last meal was of suspect quality. Your beliefs are superficial, and your culture is substandard.
You are right to demand an explanation. Forgive my servant. I instructed him to find someone not distracted by mere insults, someone who would command respect. Your demand for justification of his arguments was admirable. You are exactly what we need. An outlander strolled into the city several days ago and now sits like a cormorant taking what he wants from the river of our hospitality. He balks at our attempts to calm him and answers requests for payment with strange coins of questionable value. He needs to go. The Outlander is not a dignitary or traveling merchant. He is a parody of civilized behavior. He spews insults at the Emperor himself. So far, he has escaped the notice of any higher officials. Perhaps he was mistaken for an actor in a troupe. But that will not last. If he is reported, the Lotus assassins will take notice. They'll want to know if he was harbored or his offense was encouraged. Guilt by association is enough for them. That's what's so infuriating. He doesn't respond to reason. He proposes challenges we don't understand and then declares himself the winner. Several of our brightest have faced him, but as soon as they get the better of him, he sets off his strange firework and says they are beaten. Normally, the peasants like it when we intellectuals are maligned, but they tire of his presence too. Getting rid of this nuisance will endear you to many. I hope your ability matches your conviction. Several others have fallen short, despite their outrage at his antics. He is in the Scholar's Garden, and no amount of opposition has moved him. Please, I hope you will prove to be a worthy opponent.
So you're the new fighter in town.
Oh good, another fighter. Just what this city needs. More fighters.
The Golden Way is the pride of the city, as any of its residents will gladly tell you.
I didn't expect you in your strange training to make it to the Imperial City. You are proving to be a very interesting person. Of course, I could tell that just by looking at you. You have a very strong presence. As the Heavenly Lily, I am above suspicion, but I am restrained by fawning servants. Silk Fox can go anywhere, and people are not shy about their reactions. There is a thrill, of course, and it allows me to find information useful to us both. Death's Hand brought your Master Li to the palace a few days ago. I saw the flyer. He was bound in chains. He must be powerful, or you are. There was something familiar about him as well. Why would you say that? Is that what he told you? I'm sorry, but I simply cannot believe that your Master Li is the glorious strategist. I was too young to know him. I was told that he and Prince Qin, the third brother, fell defending the Empire 20 years ago. Now it seems they may have been traitors. I discovered this looking through records for information on Death's Hand. Perhaps he tried to influence Sun Li and Sun Qin before corrupting my father. But it doesn't matter who your master is. I could take you to the palace, but Death's Hand controls what my father hears. He must be discredited for you to succeed. A wise decision. His hold over my father is nearly absolute, but if we could show conclusive evidence of his crimes, my father would have to listen. I know how. Construction on the wall has stopped for the first time in generations. The workers now toil in factories building powerful creatures of stone and clay called golems. Death's Hand could use these automatons to seize the Empire, and my father is oblivious. We must infiltrate the Lotus Assassins and find evidence of this treachery. We need proof of Death's Hand's intent from the seat of his power, the Lotus Assassin Fortress. It would be impossible to assault, so just walk in. They are Have any Lotus Assassins who saw your face lived to report back? I doubt it. They will not recognize you as the person who fought them in Tian's Landing. They have a vague description full of guesswork that has guards holding people at random. Besides, they expect an attack, not someone trying to catch their eye. I would wager that you may profit from their tasks too. Can you see the beauty in using their own methods of recruitment to fight them? I think they deserve it. There are guilds within the Lotus Assassins. Executioners look for fearsome warriors. Inquisitors are more subversive, and they look for cunning in their agents. If you prove yourself in the arena, they will notice you. My people can spread rumors of your interest. The Executioner will take a real interest when you finish the silver round. Or if you prefer, the Inquisitor recruiter is also seeking new people. He might be open to persuasion. Death's Hand rules over the Lotus Assassins, so I take special interest in their activities. I've had most of my life to ask questions. You suspect my motives? You have no reason to doubt me. If I wanted the Lotus Assassins to find you, I could simply tell them your name. Yes, I will have my people spread rumors of your interest. Once you pass the silver round, the Executioner will take an interest. I'm sure he will find you as impressive as I do. Or, if you prefer, court the Inquisitor. Ask Scholar Dongao in the Scholar's Garden about him. I hear Dongao is closer to the Assassins than he should be. I will wait at your flyer. Or I could travel with you. Before you get too lost, perhaps we should, discuss how closely we will be working together? A wise preference. No offense intended to your amusing companions. Hello again. I enjoy our little chats, but I don't think anything has changed since we last spoke. I still need evidence against Death's Hand to free my father. Meet the executioner in the arena, or speak with Scholar Dungao in the Scholar's Garden about the Inquisitor. Hurry, or you'll lose your chance to help your master. Did you like it? I thought you might want a little assistance. Consider it a small token of my favor. I thank you for your courtesy. A woman always likes to hear when her gifts are appreciated. It is difficult for one of my rank to give gifts, even one so simple as what I gave you. A princess is not normally allowed to show favorites. Better that I give it away before Death's Hand carts it off. He has been quite brazen. Besides, it was mine by birthright to do with as I wish. Must I always be dictated to by tradition, despite my respect for it? Sometimes I want what everyone else has, to be myself. And to be myself, I gave you what I wished. Well, you're polite at least. Most nobles take gifts as a matter of course, especially those from a woman. But the price I may pay for helping you could be greater still. I am destined for the throne, destined to rule the Empire after my father, but that will be meaningless if Death's Hand keeps his hold on my father's mind. I fear one day he may try to interfere with the Imperial succession. Or perhaps convince my father that he should be Emperor by marriage. Indeed, we cannot. I would bite my own tongue before ever allowing that man to touch me. I'm sorry, I've ruined the mood. We should continue our talk another time. First, we must expose Death's Hand, reveal his treachery and manipulation. I wish you luck. Once you have gained the trust of the Lotus Assassins, we will plan how to proceed.
Well, look who we have here. There's no princess to save you this time.
Do you think we'd forget? You can't humiliate us and just walk away.
Don't look at me. I can't do anything right now. Not like this.
We'll teach you to insult a guard of the Imperial City.
Longsword.
Welcome, friend. The lecture won't be starting for a little while, though your enthusiasm is appreciated. I wouldn't worry about seating. Those interfering philosophers had made sure that very few people will be attending the lecture. Certainly. We can't learn without asking questions. How can I help you today? Don't get me wrong, I like most of the philosophers, but their strict adherence to aging traditions makes them very difficult to deal with. They're always preaching about peace and harmony. Really, we kill and subdue the creatures of this world in order that we can survive. Where's the peace in that? Can a man survive long enough without eating meat? What about the grains we use to make our bread, or the hides we use for any number of things? We consume constantly.
Peace and harmony are wonderful ideals, but in nature only the strong survive, and they don't do it by being peaceful. I'm glad you asked. Today I will speak on my theories of cloud formation. That was my first major discovery, though it hasn't been widely accepted yet. The basic principles are really quite simple. I deduced after lengthy study that clouds are formed by the moisture escaping from our bodies. When the weather is cool, you can clearly see small clouds escaping from people's mouths. Similar clouds form on the skin of people working strenuously in the cold. These clouds of breath rise up and collect near the tallest peaks, where it is almost always cloudy. This was one of my finest discoveries. Don't let the name fool you. There are fewer scholars here than you might think. We are far outnumbered by those obstinate philosophers. The philosophers believe that the gods dictate everything, from the rising of the sun to the changing seasons. If the summer ends too soon or too late, the gods must be angry. Of course, anyone who cares to look can see that the birds control the weather. I have noted with some accuracy that the birds predict the seasons. I have a theory that the massive movements of birds in the autumn and spring actually cause the prevailing winds to change direction. When birds fly south just before autumn, they cause the winds to change. And we get cold air from the north until the spring, when the birds reverse the winds again. It's really quite simple, but just try telling that to one of the philosophers. Oh, so soon. All right then. I hope to see you again soon. Perhaps I could explain to you my theories on the formation of ice crystals.
Do not be fooled by those who would tell you that studying is the key to true enlightenment.
I hope you're not here to pester me. I'm a very busy, important, and educated man, you know. Suspicious? Oh, heavens no. Everyone here is extremely legitimate and completely normal. Yes, indeed. Well, no, not him. He, of course, isn't usual in the usual, sense. Not at all. Everyone else, though, is perfectly legitimate. General questions? Who has time for such mundane subjects? Go ask one of the scholars. One of the other scholars, that is. All manner of studies. The history of dramatic systems, applied theology, and, celestial integration. All of these are vital pursuits of knowledge. Not that you would understand such lofty matters. Well, you see, drama can be broken down into several systems, and I study the history of those systems over time, how they've changed, and that sort of thing. Well, there's the new system, of course, but everyone knows that. Then we have the, old system, which, as you may surmise, is no longer in use. That's a brief summary of my latest work. At any rate. Oh, it's all very complex, and I really don't feel like describing it to you at any length. That's how you know I'm a scholar, you see. An unwillingness to share all the information I have. Of course not! I'm... Ah, drat. This isn't working at all. How did you know? You're here to hunt me down, then. Lord Rento has it in for me, and I figured it would come to this. I don't suppose running would do me any good. I was unjustly accused. I simply petitioned Lady Rento for some silver to support me as an actor. Patronage, it's called. She agreed, but her husband flew into a rage when he found out, and now I have a death sentence on my head. It's not fair. And if you were a decent person, you'd help me get out of this city instead of taking me in. It's the only way I'll get clear of Lord Rento's wrath. You need more proof than my pathetic attempt to pose as a scholar? How about the fact that Lord Rento was out of town when I bilked him? Not that anyone but Lady Rento will confirm that for you. Still, it should be apparent that I'm not some great confidence man. We should go see Captain Sen right away if you're sure. Is now a fair time to go down to the gate to get me out of here? I understand. Attend to whatever else you had to do. And if you're still willing to help me, come back and see me.
Awukte yer wo na pa yer uk forti. Akir sonwi ni fayit wo wir waka wir usono ni fayiter ofino. Ike kir ki yer washatiruk. Uk nik kup kitro sa irustap kithno uk yower kwadner. Sunur no ku wu ifuwir sower tatasi ni siso ir ka wikawar ir roren. Usa ir sa wi api ir ninu siso ir tiuth. Wawawir shaksiyir kawir onk ni siso ir akuwu uksunti wawawir shaksiyir fukno. Sunur no ku wu ifuwir sower tatasi ni siso ir kawikawar ir roren. Krons niwu no yir Wayer uk sakwanerko uk nik ni siso ir akuwu. Ike kir kir washatiruk pir inni tinowir nonni apatar wo kawarnif. Ni siso ir akuwu kusuwir wawuso ir tan.
I'm still here. Have you figured out what you're going to do with this poor wretch yet? We should go see Captain Sen right away if you're sure. Is now a fair time to go down to the gate to get me out of here? The only easy way out of this city is through the gate that Sen is guarding, and he's looking for me. However, if I disguise myself as a mercenary and sneak past him, I might just get away. But you have to help me by distracting him. Just tell him that I've already escaped.